He was a professional dog food taster, but no one would believe him. People thought he might be a spy, but in reality he was quite boring. He'd worked for all the major companies. He'd worked his way up the dog food chain. He was a professional. Oh, it was the wrong chord. Oh, where is it? That's weird. Played that a few times. I was there and I went there. My bad. What is it? He worked his way up the dog food chain. He was a professional. He worked so hard, he never found the time for friends. He never socialized. He felt so alone, 'cause when he talked about his job, people thought he told them lies. Nobody would believe he was a professional dog food taster, but no one would believe him. People thought he might be a spy, but in reality he was quite boring. He'd worked for all the major companies. He'd worked his way up the dog food chain. He was a professional. One day across the bar he caught the eye of a girl he thought he recognized. When he asked her what she did for work, well, the answer came as a very big surprise. It was hard to believe. She was a professional dog food taster, and she totally believed him. People thought she might be a spy, but in reality she was quite boring. She'd worked for all the major companies. She'd worked her way up the dog food chain. She was a professional. They fell in love, and love was all they ever wanted. They're the same, no one could believe. They bought a big house in the country for the kids, and then they opened their own dog food factory. Shall we end it in the style of Status Quo? Let's do that. They were both professional dog food tasters, but no one would believe them. People thought they might be a spy, but in reality they were quite boring. They'd worked for all the major companies. He'd worked his way up the dog food chain. They were I said it was a silly, it's a silly. I played that to a very serious producer man. And do you know what he said at the end of it? And I was basically testing his sense of humor. I was like, I've got this song that's about my feelings and stuff. And then I've also got this, which I think you should listen to with the single in mind. And we got to the end and he went, do you know what? That is a massive hit. He said it, and I believe him. My favorite version of that, so I did this once, and I think it's capoed here. I think it was here. But it works very well in the style of Kermit the Frog, just so you know. He was a professional dog food taster, but no one would believe him. People thought he might be a spy, but in reality, he was quite boring. He'd worked for all the major companies. He'd worked his way up the dog food chain.